Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
I rise, giving all praises to Allah, the great God of the universe. I extend those honors to Prophet MuJahid-Bey, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. I extend those honors to Marcus Mosaic Garvey, John the Harbinger, the one who did stir up the nations, Islam. I extend these honors to the Moorish Standard, the red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center. These 5 points represents the highest principles known to man, which are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I extend those honors to the American flag, also known as the Merchant Trading Banner, a constant reminder of our Constitution that our Prophet told us to enforce. Islam. I extend those honors to the Grand Governor's Office, Lieutenant Grand Governor's Office, the Sheikh staff, Chairman staff, administration, the vanguards who keep the peace, and to the ills in the bay and the visitors. Because without you, we have no movement. Islam. My measure is kind of short, just to camel back off of the alley-oop that the brother Yusuf and Bey have threw me. The reason that I'm presenting this particular measure, because for a long time we know we proclaimed our nationality as being Moorish and American, and our prophet tells us that in, per Act 6, but this is a new era in time now. All men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and by the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained MuJahid-Bey the prophet to redeem his people from his sinful ways. I'll be reading from our Moorish literature. It's page 3, it's the first page, well actually second page, and it's a divine warning by the prophet for the nations. Islam. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are of all one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize their free national name of their constitutional government are classified as undesirables and are subject to the inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate their national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude slavery. A lot of time, Prophet pointed out that we have a free national name, and we're supposed to proclaim this free national name. But do we know what this free national name is and what power it gives us when we proclaim it? See, our free national name is a name that connects you to your free national government and to the national constitution. And plus, your free national name is your place of birth. If you go anywhere in the world, the rest of the world will call you by your free national name, as our prophet tells us. A lot of us really don't know this free national name, but I just described it in our flag that's right behind us. I will continue reading. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God of Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of their forefathers, divine and national principles, that they will be law-abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their free national name and religion. He says it again, we are to claim our free national name and our religion. Do we know what our free national name is? It's a question for anyone.
Moorish American.
Well, it's in part. I mean, that's the whole, but it's one specific name.
American.
Islam, and that is because if you go anywhere in the world, they're not going to. We know we're Moors. They'll call you American, then we'll kindly correct them by saying Moorish American. But the first thing they're going to recognize you by is by your free national name, as the prophet said in Act 6. You feel me? Because this is who we are, and the prophet was bringing this back to us in part. He brought us 2 parts because it takes 2 parts to activate our citizenship. And that's what these 2 flags behind it represent. Islam? I'll continue. And through it, there is but, they are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth. And it comes only through the connection of the Moorish signs, only comes through the connection of the Moorish divine and national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all nations of the earth. Our prophet teaches in Acts 6 that with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our members their nationality and their divine creed, so that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and they are not black folks, colored people. Black folks, colored people are Negro, are Ethiopians, because these were names given to slaves during the time of slavery. So what we're doing now is teaching our people this nationality, their free national name and their descent name. Islam. This is what this institution was designed to do, to make us better members and better citizens of society. Islam. I want to jump all the way down to the third, fourth paragraph of that page. It starts off by saying, if Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and by principle, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name, because they place their trust upon issues and names formed by their forefathers. We know that we are Moorish Americans. Islam. But why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants
of Moroccans and born in America.
Say it again, because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Descendants. Prophet just describes another name for us, our national descendant name. And a lot of people don't understand what is the national descendant name. It's Moorish. This is how you get Moorish American. See, every group of people understand that they must proclaim their national descent name in order to even activate their free national name. That's why you don't see the Chinese calling themselves Yellow American. You don't see the Italian calling themselves something other than what they are, or the Japanese or the Turks or anybody else. They proclaim their descendant name with their free national name because they understand that this activates that citizenship degree. This is what our prophet is bringing a return back to us. See, it's a thing, it's special to us, but for the rest of the world, it's a regular everyday thing. But see, that thing was stripped from us. So, as like me and the sheep was talking earlier, to get our people to understand this knowledge, you feel me? This true knowledge itself is foreign to them. They want to buck, they want to do this, they want to fight. Some just don't want to listen to it because it just seems odd to them. But it's our job to break this thing down to where it can be simple. You feel me? We got to learn to teach this to a baby. We tell a baby, you're a Moorish American. This is your free national name. This is your descendant name. Part and partial of both governments. Islam. I was riding down Doraville the other day. They have a place called the Latino American Association. And the Latino American Association is almost like the Moorish Science Temple of America. Because the people who come there, regardless of if you're from Latin America, whether you're Spanish or Mexican, whether you are Salvadorian, whether you're Brazilian, Chilean, Nicaraguan, you are considered Latino. And they have a place for you to acclimate you to American society. They unify, they teach you how to unify. They give you the things that's actually necessary for you to become a better citizen. Whether it be a job, whether it be going to school, whether etc. That is a place that they go in order to get the things that they need that's necessary to make them better citizens in American society. Islam. And this is exactly why our Moorish Science Temple of America was created by our prophet MuJahid-Bey. What I want to do is just jump forward. I'm going to jump a couple pages over because I want to read briefly just from another section of the Moorish literature. It's prophet makes a plea to the nations. And I'm going to start with the second paragraph. It is the great God Allah alone that guides the destiny of this divine and national movement. I know all true American citizens are identified by their national descent names. See, the prophet said it. I didn't say it. The prophet said it. To answer and to apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. Islam?
Islam.
That's why I am calling on all true national citizens to help me morally and financially in my great work I am doing to help this national government. I'm gonna jump a couple paragraphs over. It says, if you have race pride and love your race, join the Moral Science Temple of America and become a part of this divine movement, then you will have the power to redeem your race, because you will know who you are and who your forefathers are.
Islam.
See, I know that I'm a Moorish American. I know by birth I'm American. I know that my descent is my forefather, which is Moorish. You know, and the prophet says that this is where we learn these things at. We get to dive into our history. Because if you think about it, I want to read a definition to you. We talk about descent. Descent is the origin or background of a person in terms of family or nationality. American families of Hungarian descent. A synonym for descent is ancestry, parentage, ancestors, family, lineage, line of descent, extraction, origin, birth, genealogy, succession, stock, pedigree, bloodline, strain, roots, origins, forefathers. Islam?
Islam.
So when we look at this word Moorish, this is what allows us to trace ourselves back. Because it says that, you know, the descent is the origins of something. But when we look at black, colored, Negro, and Ethiopian, when we look at these origins of these brands that was placed on us by on the Moorish Americans and Muslim Northwest of Mexico, we see that it doesn't tie us back to anything but bondage. And our prophet wanted us to free us from that. He once said that our forefathers were free men that were put into bondage, weren't slaves. He said it wasn't to the next generation that came that the mental slavery, we became slaves of the mind. Because we started worshiping or following ideas of the European we knew nothing about.
Islam.
A man's God ideas is God, and as man unfolds, his God unfolds. What is his God yesterday won't be today. And the prophet had to put us back on that line of succession. He had to get us connected back to the origins from which we came. And this is how this is one of the reasons why we're able today as Moorish Americans do things that not all so-called black, colored, and Negro people care to do. Especially in the 1900s. When we Moorish Americans was voting. 1925?
Islam.
The Voting Act didn't come out to 1965, I believe, if I'm saying the right dates. I don't want to just throw nothing out there. You know what I mean? And why was that? Why was it that it wasn't a law that was passed to change the status of the people from voting? You feel me? At that time, it was the mentality that changed. The prophet got us to see ourselves once again as the Moors, as Moorish Americans, as men and women, free.
Islam.
We didn't have to cling on to anything that diluted back to slavery. Black, colored, Negro dilutes back to slavery because it was a name and a brand that was given to you by another group of people.
Islam.
And if we call ourselves free, why are we constantly answering to names that another group of people put on us?
Islam.
Logically. It makes no sense at all. But like the brother was saying, sometimes this stuff seems like it's trigonometry to certain people. So it's up to us to simplify it, to break it down so they can see where everything's at. So they can make that choice, because every tongue must confess their own sin. You know what I mean? You feel me? Islam? I just want to highlight those two names. Those two things, our descendant name and our free national name, and understanding that both those names, by way of the prophet, as he teaches us, combined is what ultimately activates our citizenship. It activates us thinking again as free men and women. We call ourselves free, which is our principles, one of our principles, our 5 highest principles. Then we have to look at ourselves as free men. We can't rely anymore on an outside source to do what we need to do.
Islam.
It's time that we continue to build and come together and unify under the banner that our prophet returned back to us.
Islam.
It ain't no more. And to me, I talked to the brother today, and I was like, from my observation, I see the Moors, I see the Moors, I see ethnic groups. And when you understand what ethnicity really is, it's just tribes. But you know, in building of the building of the empire, you have your family, your tribe, your clan, your family, clan, tribe, nation, and then your empire. It's time that we quit being tribes and come back into this empire. As long as we stand, as long as the Moorish American is breathing, and that idea, which is that code, which is that nationality, will forever live. We just have to unify, come back underneath the Prophet. Islam?
Islam.
Do I have any questions, any add-ons, any vibrations? Islam. Did I come to you? I came to you in love, I leave in peace. Islam.
Islam.
الله أكبر
حي على الصلاة